Okay, example 1. Graph. Numbers on a number line. Then order them from least to greatest. Now you've all done this, but let's go through it to make sure. All right, here are the numbers. -4, +5, 0, -1, -3, and +2. Can you graph that on a number line? Do you know what that means to do that? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. So what I want you to do, draw a number line, put 0 on there somewhere. Always have 0. That's a reference point. Negatives are always on the left, for those of you who are not sure. Positives are on the right. Okay? Left is negative, right is positive. Alright, -4. Don't draw a number line and then put like 20 slashes over here and 20 hash marks over here, okay? Just look at what you need to put on here and put it on here. I need a -4, so left of my number line, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's -4. And put a nice closed dot. The next one is +5. That's to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And put a closed in dot. And so on and so forth. 0, -1, -3, and +2. Once you've done that, you now have them ordered from least to greatest, provided you start at the left. -4, then -3, -1, 0, 2, and 5. Any questions on how to order numbers? Those are integers. What if I said negative 2/3? Where would that go? Cameron?
2/3 between 0 and -1.
Yep. Between 0 and -1, 2/3 is a little past halfway. You put another dot right there. And then it would go between -1 and 0 in your grouping of numbers. Okay? Same thing with decimals. If I said 1.3, where would you put that one? And
Between 0 and 2. Well, no. Wait, okay. Between.
oh, I see, right here. Yeah.
Okay.
But on the graph where?
It'll be like a little past 1.
Yeah, a little past 1. Less than a half. Okay. So 1.3 would be there. Good. Any questions? All right. Last example. Told you to be fast. Example 2. Evaluate the expression when x equals -0.25. Now here's where, on this lesson and the next few lessons, I'll be not trying to trick you, but I'll be giving you examples based on students' typical mistakes. Okay? I know you know how to substitute. That's not what I'm putting this up here for. Okay? All right. Here's we're going to do 3 of these. There's your expression. Substitute the value in there, and in a second I'll tell you what the answer is. We'll see if you really do know how to do this. Couple ways to think about this. Negative x, the opposite of x, or what's the number in front of x?
1.
-1.
Oh.
-1 times x is really There's three ways to think about that. And if you think about it as -1 times x, this is a little easier to understand. The answer is positive 0.25. Now, how you should have written it down if you weren't sure, or for future references, is whenever you're substituting, you put parentheses around what you're substituting. So x is negative 0.25. And that negative is not really attached to the x, except on the 1 that's in front of it. Okay? So that's why it's a positive 0.25. Next one. Absolute value of x. Absolute value means the distance away from 0. So how far is that value away from 0? And since you're talking about distance, that's why it can't be negative. Everybody knows the absolute value makes everything positive, but that's not entirely accurate. Okay? The way you should think about absolute value is do everything that's inside first, and then apply the rule, how far is that value away from 0? So we're going to plug in a negative 0.25, substitute. Since that's the only thing in here, that's the value, how far away is negative 0.25 from 0? 0.25, so it's a positive 0.25. You're going to need to make sure you understand this in the next few sections. And the last one, the opposite of the absolute value of x, minus x. The opposite of the absolute value of x, minus x. Luke.
Negative x minus x.
But I still want you to plug in the value. So
Oh,
just-
okay. I didn't know that x here.
And we got a 0. Alright, so again, a negative 0.25 inside, on the outside. So that's what it looks like when you plug it all in. The negatives on the outside. The absolute value of this, we already found, was positive 0.25, but then you have a minus in front of it. So it stays negative. And here you have a negative 0.25. Minus the negative is what? Plus, you have a negative and a positive, they're opposites. That's 0. Your assignment. Page 67, 5 to 13, 42 to 50, and the mixed review evens. Awesome.